Yeah.
Your business should be able to stand on its own, that without any connection to any place in power, you have access. People can come for that because there is a value.
I've been waiting my whole life for this one moment.
Welcome to the Story of Success. The Story of Success is where we curate stories from creatives, entrepreneurs, and impact makers. And just ask them about their journey, how they got to where they are, and just share any lessons or wisdom that can help inspire, motivate others that are looking to be on the same path as them. So today we have Ferdy Adimefe of Imaginarium. Welcome, Ferdy.
Nice to be here. Good. I don't know what time is it, but I'm glad to be on your show.
Okay, so very quickly, how did Imaginarium?
Okay, Imaginarium started like 5 years ago, and I quit my job to focus big time on it because I saw a need, and the need was that there was a gap in terms of taking creativity, taking technology, and finding ways on how they can work together. So on one level, I think I'm a scientist, all right? And I love science. I mean, I love physics, chemistry. In fact, I still go back to some of those concepts. And on another level, I was like an artist. I was drawn to images, to colors, to design, to see the world. So the alchemy between the artistry and the science fusion was something I felt I needed to put together. And every brand has a story.
Yeah.
And for us, it's about telling that story of the brand. And telling that story in a way that is compelling, in a way that speaks to the science of the brand, and also the art of the brand. So Imaginarium started first as a brand agency. We're doing a lot of brand concepts, digital marketing, and all of that. And over time, we evolved into product development and product design. And then we even evolved further to becoming now a content factory. So I see product as a content expression.
Yeah.
I see branding as a content expression. So we're at that intersection of media, entertainment, and technology.
Okay.
So right at the middle, that intersection is the magic.
Yeah.
All right. And we are creating content that can feed into the loop of media.
Yeah.
Content that can feed into the loop of entertainment, and content that can power platforms for tech.
Amazing. You said you quit your job.
Yes, I had to.
So was it you started Imaginarium, then quit your job, or you quit your job, then started?
Okay, Imaginarium was registered, but there was not much going on.
Okay.
So, but I had grown very, very over time because my job was fun. I mean, I used to travel a lot. There were periods of time when I would not even be in the country.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed traveling. I derived a lot of fulfillment from traveling. But at this point in time, I realized that I wasn't a fulfilled man. And I realized again that my job could only allow me to do so much. I wanted a platform that can allow me harness all of me. And Imaginarium started to grow on me. So when I left my job, it was clear that Imaginarium was the next stop. But again, I wasn't thinking particularly as an entrepreneur. I think at that point in time, I was just saying, okay, I meet brands and I tell them, why is your logo this way? Why are your colors this way? What's wrong with your copy? You're not selling. You're not selling. You're like pushing stuff out. You're not pulling people into your conversation. So I used to do it for free. Do you know, I would have friends call me up to tell me, Ferdy, where are you? I say, at the house. I'm coming. And they will come and we'll spend hours. In fact, I had a board. I would bring out board, we would structure the company. And I didn't know that there was value there. So, but I sort of realized I had met people over and over again. So the day I resigned, I went online, I pulled in about 50 emails, and I did an introduction to Imaginarium. Also, guys, I'm no longer in my paid employment. I'm now here in Imaginarium. And if you are interested in XYZ, please reach out to me. And I got the first business from that email. And it was almost like a confirmation that, wow, this year in business.
Yeah.
You know. Now, the second business didn't come for about another 2-3 months. But that first business was sort of a moral boost.
Yeah.
And that was how I really kicked into that.
Okay. Now, Imaginarium is what, 5 years? 5
years.
Okay. In 5 years, what has failure taught you about success?
For me, failure came early. In fact, I think it was in 2012. I had this magical idea to tell the Nigerian story. So we put together like a Broadway show, and yes, a Broadway show. It was a theater production.
What was it called?
For the Love of Country.
Okay.
So I had written a book a year before. So I took the content of the book to put together this. I really wanted to speak to the young people about our country and see how we can get past our fault lines.
Yeah.
All right. So typical of me, I was very excited about the project, and before long, the 20 cast grew to 80 something cast.
Wow.
And we thought of bringing celebrities to come and help us sell tickets. So we went after a few celebrities.
Yeah.
And then, let me fast forward to that. At the end of the show, I was in a debt of about 12 million naira. So I went from not making profits to owing. And I mean, people had cast, they would call me Ferdy Adimefe, my balance, please, you guys, I can't afford to wait to like. I also had investors who invested in the business. So, it was a difficult time. I mean, I woke up one day and I was like, what the hell is going on? Now, at some point, tickets were moving that fast. We were selling 5K tickets, but we're not selling tables. And Lagos deceived me. I actually thought that people would buy tables of 1 million. So I had already packaged 10 tables for 1 million. Another 20 tables for 500K. So do the math.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to be taking home about 20 million.
Yeah.
2 weeks to the show, we had sold only 3 tables. My logic told me, throw more ads on the pages of newspapers. So we took ads on pages of newspaper Sundays. And we ran, and each ad was costing me about 600K, 500K. And it was like, I felt the ad would answer to my, the ads pushed a few more calls, or it didn't close up. So 2 days to the show, I knew we were in trouble. The day of the show, I knew that there was trouble. So, but I came away with 12 million naira debt, and I remember sitting down with one of my mentors, and it was like, Ferdy, how are you feeling? I said, terrible. I said, okay, where do we go from here? He said, okay, no, Ferdy, do what you need to do. Don't wait for your debtors to call you. Send them emails, tell them that this is it. A lot of them knew they were in the show. One of them was very bitter, like, Ferdy, you guys didn't push hard enough. You guys didn't do this. You guys, I need it. So I sent them an email, like, okay, no, this is the reality. I gave a couple of people payment plan. Nigerians are good people. I had a people who say, okay, no, Ferdy, I can let it go. I had some that would say, we are in this, and it has to come out quickly. So I had to deal with personalities. No, but it was an important learning curve because I came away from that realizing that bigger is not always better. And if I had to do something, I don't necessarily need to scale before. Let the lessons teach. Let the lessons help me grow. So now I see that there's kind of creativity in scarcity. So if I don't have access to any resources, I think better. I didn't ask those questions that I ask now as an entrepreneur before that time. Then if I had money, the money had to go for ads. Now I call something low budget advertising. Like, I don't want to blow money on the page of newspaper. I need my target audience. Where are they? How do I get to them? And I'll now start thinking of creating referral system with bonus packages tied. Democratize it. Let more people come in and help you sell, make their commission on it. And I started to think of more options. So failure for me is not an end in itself. It's really an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow. So when I meet an entrepreneur who has failed, I was like, this is a very important point in your life. Make it a defining moment.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking on, it's good that you have this kind of story, and I'm sure it's pushed you to where you are right now, and where Imaginarium is right now. Entrepreneurship in general in Nigeria, what are your thoughts on it? Like, some people will say don't even go into it. I'm very sure others would have just found a way to pay off that 12 million naira debt and never go back into it. So, like, what entrepreneurship in Nigeria in general, like, why is it so tough? Why, and what can be done to make things easier?
I think, again, most times we start from the wrong premise, or we start from the wrong place. So if your excitement into entrepreneurship is because you want to have a card with your name CEO written on it, there's a story behind every glory. So don't be motivated by the wrong things. It shouldn't be about making a name. It should be about really making an impact. It shouldn't be about first making money. In fact, it should be first about creating value. Because money is a consequence of the value you create. So when you get fixated on the money, you neither have the value nor the money. But when you focus on creating value, you have both. So most times when I sit with entrepreneurs and I start to drill, just dive into the questions as to what are you solving, what are you creating. You help them shape that thinking. So a lot of people who fail in entrepreneurship, there is a percentage of people who I feel didn't really do a lot of work. And then sometimes, you know, a lot of people, if they have a brother in government, they quickly open the business because for them, there's an opportunity to get contracts. That's not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That is, for the most part, a rent seeker. All right. So, and because after 4 years of your brother being in that position, if he leaves, do you have clients that can pay for that which you're selling?
Yeah.
So if your business is tied to a connect, you're not quite a businessman.
Yeah.
Your business should be able to stand on its own, that without any connection to any place in power, you have assets, people can come for that because there is a value. So entrepreneurs must be first value creators. They must first solve problems. And the most important part, break away from the cultural thinking that a lot of us grapple with in Nigeria. So in terms of culture, we want it fast, we want it quick. But the pathway to entrepreneurship is not always a shortcut. In fact, it's a tedious, rigorous process of constantly building. You have months and months of just plunging in every cash you have, you know, keep learning. Any entrepreneur who is not big on learning about his industry, about his business, is not likely to last because first, you're not just building a business, you're building a brand.
Yeah.
And that has to be at the forefront.
Yeah.
How am I building my brand? So when you talk about building a brand, you're thinking about, are my customers satisfied? Are they coming back after my first experience? All right. When you talk about building a business, you're looking at your business model. Now, there's a difference between a business model and a business plan. In fact, I will side with a business model more than a business plan. Back in the day, a 5-year business plan is what any banker wants to read your 5-year business plan. Now, I am looking for a business model.
Yeah.
Are you going by subscription model? What is your rate of return? So your business model has to be dynamic. In fact, there's something I call biological thinking. Biological thinking, because you're not one thing. Biology is a living organism, so your thinking has to be a living, like a living pattern. Every day you take on the nature of the disruption. So you wake up this morning, a new app taking away the market from you. How do you adjust to collaborate, to layer over that? So you constantly have to keep swimming and try not to be eaten by the sharks, but you survive. So I think any entrepreneur needs to be adaptive, needs to embrace a culture of learning. Also, capital is not always money. Capital oftentimes can come through collaboration and partnerships. So explore areas of partnerships that can reduce your cost, all right? And let's not be caught up in this culture where we want to be flamboyant. An entrepreneur may not necessarily need to have a flamboyant life. I mean, you know, if you have to be flamboyant, don't use flamboyance to attract people to your business. In fact, let the proceeds from your business sponsor your flamboyance at some point, but for now, focus on creating value. Let your value be the attraction, and keep iterating, keep tweaking, keep adding, keep taking away.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have people that African entrepreneurs that inspire you? Can you just mention 3?
That's a scary one.
Why?
That's a scary one because honestly, I read a lot of foreign authors, but I think I like Strive Musiwa, and I think for me, he has an unbreakable story. He ventured into Nigeria, had a bad experience with Econet at inception, but that didn't change his views of entrepreneurship. And I see Strive as a man who understands that the real wealth is not just what is in your pocket. I remember reading his story of how he was walking up a mountain and an idea dropped in his head. And I think basically that's how I get my ideas. So Strive is one man that I think I see him beyond the pursuit for making a name. It's the pursuit of really, really creating value. Okay. All right. So I admire him. Is there any other one that I can think of?
Any Nigerian entrepreneurs?
My brother, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Well, there's somebody trying to get his name mentioned, but I won't be doing that, guys. Okay, for Nigerian entrepreneurs, I think, God, please. Mona, forgive me. I'm not proud like that. I'm trying hard to come up with options, but there are people that I admire.
Okay, let's do that.
I admire them for a certain kind of resilience and skill.
Okay.
And I think it's something to really commend. But I think this guy, the Zynox.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time I knew of the brand, I didn't know the guy.
Okay.
In Nigeria here, the brands are usually the CEOs or the brand the founders are usually even more popular than the brand.
Yeah.
In Zynox, it was always the reverse. And I think this was a man that has been behind the scenes during 30, 40 years of electronics, and he has moved with the wave. From electronics, you have technology, and now he's bringing he's even creating his own products, his own electronic products, bringing them to Nigerian markets. He's trying to play the e-commerce space with Udala and now Konga. So I really do admire him. I think that he understands business, the art of business, and the science of business.
Okay. So in our generation.
In our generation.
Who is doing something that you really, really admire right now?
There are a lot of people in our generation. There are a lot of people.
Just name three.
I kind of like what Edith Young they're doing with Anako.
Okay.
I think I like it. Edith, from the Bright Prize app, they've just sort of managed to shape culture, shape conversation. Creagital is also a company that I look out to advance, and I think they're doing an amazing work. I also like what I think Chuda and Debola, for me, they are always easily a success story. And I've been friends with them from when they started from TFA to Red, and I've seen them grow, and they understand the system and they know how to work the system. And I think there is a wisdom at play there. There is also, am I out of options, guys? I think I am.
No, that's fine.
And then I like fireworks. I like fireworks. I can't miss that. But I see fireworks as an unfolding story. In 1 year, you've done so much. But I see the foundations, but you haven't seen the sprout yet. But the rains have come, so the sprouts will show.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, so if a young person that admires you and admires Imaginarium walks up to you and says, "I want to do what you do," what would be your response to that?
I'll give them books to read.
Okay, 3 books.
3 books. One for me is The Alchemist.
Okay.
And I think The Alchemist is a philosophical journey of discovery. And what you create is an expression of you. So the enterprise is an expression of the entrepreneur. So it's important that your mind expands beyond the confines of your environment to create. So Alchemist did that for me, was very defining. I also read, Bill Clinton's My Life. And why did I read that book? I think Bill Clinton, that time I was younger, but I think I came away realizing a man that was deliberate. He had very clear focus of where he wanted to go. And even with the limitations he had to deal with, he found a way around it. So Bill, for me, is someone that I really do. That story, Bill Clinton, My Life, was very inspirational. Then Richard Wright's The Black Boy. Now, maybe it might not evoke the same feelings it did for me with some other people, but The Black Boy was was actually a confrontation with myself. A man that was very self-willed and driven, and that will not bow to pressure or the circumstances. But somehow I saw the Black Boy was a rite of passage for me. But there are many other books on entrepreneurship. I'm a big fan of biographies. So I read Richard Wright's, I read Branson's story on losing my virginity. I read Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom. For me, I read them and I see a lot of lessons. Like I take away a lot. So I would say if you want to be an entrepreneur, don't come through just trying to be an entrepreneur. Let the knowledge be your defining anchor point for everything you do. I keep learning. At every point in time, there are 3 books I'm reading. And I'm reading one in becoming a father, becoming a man. So it's speaking to my life as a father and a husband. And I'm reading another one that, as an entrepreneur in a disruptive age, what are the things I need to look out for so I'm not swept under the road by revolution, but I'm part of the wave that can ride the crest.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ferdy,
Thanks for having me.
Your story of success.
So who do I send my invoice to now?
We'll send you an email.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I've been waiting my whole life for this one moment.